Hi, I'm Anthony $1 Million Crawler, and you're watching Seconds Out.
Hi, it's Jonathan Schrage. I'm here today with Johnny Nelson, prominent pundit, Sky Sports Boxing. How are we doing, John?
I'm all right, thank you.
You're a well-known sort of luminary within the boxing world now, in the UK especially. So when you make a prediction, it's known, it's well documented. You know, has there ever been a case where you've made a prediction and a fighter that you get on well with has come to you afterwards and expressed some sort of, you know, disappointment that you picked against them?
Yeah, and that's why I explained to him, look, this isn't personal. This is just what I think. If you pick a fighter to win or lose, you know, you've got to have a reason behind that. It's nothing personal. You've got to have a reason to say, look, I think this will happen because of this. Like at the weekend, Manny Pacquiao boxed Timothy Bradley. I thought Bradley would win because I looked at Pacquiao's last few performances. I'm trying to get away from the fact that I'm thinking of Pacquiao 5 or 6 years ago. I'm looking at Bradley's past few performances. He seemed to be on the rise. And so I thought, you know what, common sense tells you would lean towards Bradley. Bradley boxed the worst he could ever box and lost, and he was humble in defeat. I don't mind being wrong, as long as when I give it an opinion of why a man should win or lose, it's a valid opinion, and I'll stick to it. Froch-Groves is the obvious one. You know, you have Groves fans, you have Froch fans. I like George Groves. I actually rate him. I really rate him. I rate the game plan he's got. I rate the mind game he's got. I rate the way he's taken this on himself, and he's driving his own bus. He's controlling his own destiny. I love everything about it. But I just think Carl Froch fought the wrong fight. He had a lot going on. He was doing a TV show. His wife had a baby. He had no respect for George Groves. He had no fear for George Groves. That's why the fight turned out the way it did. The worst Carl Froch had ever boxed, and he still got the victory. It wasn't his fault. The referee stopped it. Now, Carl is training like a maverick, training like a madman. Can George train any harder than he did the last time? No.
But that being said, on the flip side, obviously someone could argue that you know, Father Time catches up with everyone. George Groves is physically coming to his peak now, really, as a boxer. So, you know, it's an intriguing matchup, isn't it, from that respect? Mark my words.
Don't be surprised if Carl Froch retires after this fight, win or lose. Because Father Time has now caught up on him. Yes, you're right. And training becomes harder as you get older. It's harder to get up in the morning to go for a jog. It hurts. The pain of training and breaking your body into a training camp, instead of it taking 1 week to get over, it's taking 3 and 4 weeks to get over. The older you get, Carl knows that. So that's why you've got to look on. This may be his last fight, if one more after that. But don't be surprised if he says, that's me done, I'm finished, win or lose.
And surely, I think you've mentioned this before in an interview. You said if he's going to have to revert back to the Butte style of fight when he fought Butte.
Kamikaze style.
Yeah, gung-ho, just go for it. That kind of thing, that's what will win him the fight, you think? He'll just have to walk through
If this fight goes the distance, George Groves wins. Carl Froch has to jump on him. Throw all his eggs in one basket and put it on him. And if he does the job right, this fight doesn't go past 6 rounds. But he has to put it on. The worst thing you can do is try and outbox George Groves, because George Groves will beat him. He's got a better jab, he's younger, he's fresher, he's stronger. He has confidence now, he has self-belief. Carl Froch is the one with doubt now. He's the one that got put down in the first round. Bragging rights have gone because he had no respect for George Groves. So he's the one with the pressure on his shoulder. So therefore, this is how these tables can turn. And what hurts Carl Froch is, you know what, he's been champion and boxed at world championship level for the past dozen fights, and the public have turned against him, and it hurts him. George Groves is a new hero, and he's embracing the moment.
Barry said, I saw the interview with Coogan and Barry the other day, Barry thinks that support will kind of equalise a little bit as the fight draws nearer. You know, people will get back on the Froch bandwagon. It'll be more 50-50. Do you think that will be the case in terms of public support?
I don't think so. I think Carl is. What I see of Carl Froch, I think he's very black and white. You know, there's no grey area with him. And if he thinks you're good, he'll tell you you're good. You know, it's very hard to him to give George Groves any credit without a backhand. But you know, it's very hard for him to do that. It's not in his nature. He's trying his hardest to. But realistically, they don't like each other. That's simple. And Carl is not really good at hiding that. So the public will either like it or loathe it. He has his fans, George has his fan base, and it's growing rapidly. So it's just how they deal with it media-wise. I think George will be the one that comes out on top media-wise because he knows how to play the game. And that's what I've got to rate about him.
And just a couple more quick ones. I appreciate your time today, Johnny. You mentioned it there, like the tension between the two of them, obviously on ringside, particularly before the first fight, and it's happened a few times with certain fighters that have been on set together. Has there ever been a time on ringside where you've genuinely thought, I'm going to have to get up and mediate this one?
No. Listen, the times when it's nearly kicked off is when George Groves came on set with James DeGale. Believe me, if you'd have seen when the camera's off, it kicked off big style. Same again, George Groves, Carl Froch. But when the cameras were off and we went to commercial breaks, this thing was on fire. I'm telling you, people, I'm thinking someone's going to have to jump in here.
So, I mean, is the security on set, or is it literally a case of if it goes off, you're getting in the middle?
If it kicks off, you either hold the handlers that are around and jump in and say, boys, calm it down.
Yeah.
You know, and this has happened on more than one occasion. We thought it'd kick off with David Hay and Audley Harrison.
Yeah.
But those two knew each other. They were friends before, so they held it down a little bit.
Yeah.
David Hay and
Fury.
Vladimir Klitschko. But the Fury one, you know, to get those two on set, you know, you knew you could cut the tension with a knife. And that's why it does happen. There's no security there. What you see is live. It's natural. You know, there's nobody protecting these guys there, so they've got to control themselves, show self-control, and behave themselves.
So it's almost like a calculated risk, almost getting two rivals on the show, isn't it?
On live TV.
Yeah.
Because you know when you're angry, emotions take over.
Yeah.
You can't help but swear. You can't try and talk straight.
Yeah.
These guys have got to hold it down and behave themselves.
Yeah. And just one last question, John. Generally, Matchroom, obviously, Sky now coupled up with Matchroom, and then they do all the Matchroom shows. Obviously, it's been well documented recently that British boxing's thriving now. Seems to be a real upward trajectory with the British boxing scene. Do you think Matchroom and Sky, obviously in conjunction, are really taking the scene forward?
Without a doubt. And when this was first done, there was a lot of people not happy about it because they said, you know, this ain't right. You know, you've put it over with one promoter. That's not the case. You know, if you want to, the fights can be made. If you want to sit down and negotiate, if you don't, you don't. You know, you look at before this. Yeah, we had excellent fights, but I'm looking at it from a fighter's point of view. If I was a fighter, and you see fighters sit there once they've boxed and doing an interview, ready to say, yeah, and I've got him out in 6 weeks' time. That's what a fighter wants.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to finish my fight, and then he's telling me, right, you're going to earn again in another 6 weeks. You know, so get ready, son. You know, and it's keeping the fighters busy, keeping them active. That's what keeps the guys good. That's what nurtures them, brings the best out in them, which I think is most important. I've not seen any promoter do that and stick to it. That I personally haven't seen. So when a man's sat there ringside, and you know, a lot of them are saying, you know, he'll be on in 8 weeks' time or 6 weeks' time. That's what you want from a fighter's point of view. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I mean, from an outside, you know, from a media and a fan perspective, Eddie is a great ambassador for the sport, and he's making major inroads into the global scene, isn't he?
And it gives the fans a chance to keep following the guy they support. It gives them a chance to say, yeah, great, no big, he's on fighting again in X amount of times, X amount of weeks. It gives the fans a chance to follow their fighter, the one they support.
Lovely. Well, thanks a lot for your time today, Johnny. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, boys.
Cheers, John.